Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a highly requested video reviewing the new NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealers, and I just want to give a huge shout out to NYX for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. So a little while back I got sent these concealers before they even came out in stores, so I've been using them for quite a bit now, and I have to say I absolutely love them, so I can't wait to review them for you guys. And as some of you may know, last year they launched their Can't Stop Won't Stop foundations, which was a huge success. It's like one of my favorite drugstore foundations. So this year they expanded the line by including concealers and foundation powders. Now I will touch a little bit upon the liquid foundation in this video, but this video is mainly going to be talking about the concealers and the foundation powders. So I'm going to go through a full base routine using this line, which means I will start off with my Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation in the color Neutral Tan. And normally I do use an orange color corrector around my eyes to color correct my dark circles, but I want you guys to see how well these concealers work, so I'm not even going to touch my eyes with a color corrector. I'm going to go straight in with the foundation. I took about 2 pumps of this foundation and I'm just going to blend it out all over my face using a makeup sponge. I absolutely love this foundation, and if you guys want to see my full review on it, I will link my video in the description below. But honestly, this foundation is amazing. It gives you such nice full coverage and a nice like natural matte finish. It's not like super drying or anything like that, which is why I love it, because normally I'm not a huge fan of matte foundations. I feel like it makes my skin look too matte, and I prefer more of a dewy look, but this gives you a really nice natural matte finish, which is amazing for this summer, because if you do get oily but still like that dewy look, it won't make you look oily but still give you that dewy finish, if you know what I mean. And the coverage is amazing. You can already see how well it's covered out my dark circles without using an orange color corrector. I also love it because it blends out super easily too. Okay, so moving on to what you guys all came here for, the concealers. Look at this shade range. So NYX did a pretty good job with this shade range. They launched 24 different shades, which is a huge range for a concealer. Normally companies don't launch that many colors, so that's pretty awesome. To mention that I did wish that they had a few more shades in and around my skin tone with some more undertones. Now with that being said, I did find some concealers that worked for me, but I'm just in this like weird skin tone right now where I'm pale but I'm like beige, I'm not super golden, and I found a lot of those colors to have a very golden undertone. So when it comes to the summer, I know I'm gonna find colors that work for me really well. So I just want to show you guys a close-up of the shade range. I don't want to swatch them just because these are all pretty much like brand new, and I know I'm not going to use them all, so there's no point of me swatching them once and it just kind of going to waste. Anyway, so let me start from here. You can see that the pale color is actually really pale, which is amazing. I think it will work really well on people that have troubles finding concealers for fair skin tones. And then over here you can see that Deep Espresso has a really nice deep cool color to it, which most people with in and around this shade range are like with that cool undertone, so they did a great job with that. Now right around here is where the medium tones kind of start. This one doesn't have as much of a yellow undertone, but as you kind of go on, all of these have a very yellowy undertone to them. And you can see up here, everything's very warm and golden. So I wish some of these tones had a little bit more of that neutral undertone to them. That's kind of what I was trying to say before, but I really do think that they did a great job with the shade range, and I'm sure they're going to expand it eventually to include things like that. But you can see that they have a really nice range going right from like something that's super fair to something that is super deep. Okay, now let me get right into actually using the concealer. I've actually been using this concealer for over 2 months now. As I mentioned before, I got my hands on it before it came out into stores because they were kind enough to send it to me, and it's been pretty much my everyday concealer since. I would honestly compare it to some of my high-end concealers, which is awesome because you get that high-end quality at drugstore prices, and who doesn't love that? And the awesome thing about these concealers too is that you can use them to highlight and contour as well, which is what I'm going to show you in this tutorial today. So I'm going to go in with the color Beige, which is my highlight color, and apply this in a triangle form underneath my eyes and just on my lid. Now this is one shade lighter than my actual color, which is neutral tan. Now you guys have to take in how well this concealer covers up my dark circles. It's so full coverage, but really lightweight at the same time, which I appreciate because I want something that covers up my dark circles well without making me feel like I'm caked on with makeup. Like, look how nicely this covered it up, and I didn't even use an orange color corrector, which I normally have to because otherwise my eyes end up looking like gray and ashy, but this one does not leave my eyes looking like that at all. And as you can see, it just blends out so easily too, and there's a very, very minimal creasing. How flawless do my eyes look right now? You can clearly see why I love using it as my everyday concealer. And another bonus to this concealer is that it is waterproof, so if you plan on doing any type of crying, especially during wedding season, or if you plan on going swimming on vacation, this concealer has got you covered. And as I mentioned before, there's very, very minimal creasing. Like now, if I keep blinking around and stuff like that, it will crease a little bit, but compared to most concealers, like you can not see any heavy creasing. Normally when I use concealers and I look up and look down, there's a straight up line that goes through the middle of my eyelids. This, you don't see any of that. Just like the foundation, it has a matte finish, but it doesn't feel super drying, which is yet another reason I absolutely love it. Like, NYX, you killed it with this formula. I would highly, highly recommend it. I promise you guys won't be disappointed. And I'm going to show you guys how to contour with it too. I'm going to be using the color Deep Walnut. Now, I'm not a fan of a really heavy contour, so I'm just going to apply a few dots right where my contour line kind of starts, and then blend that out to give me more of a natural contour. I don't want to take it all the way in because I don't want it to be like a huge brown line that's going down the side of my face, and just slightly around my nose as well. So again, just using my makeup sponge, I'm going to go ahead and blend that out. And you can see how easily it blends out and gives me a natural looking contour, even though I use the second darkest color. Because it blends out so well, that shadow it creates looks so natural. Also, I would make sure that you blend out these concealers right away, because if you don't, then it'll be really hard to blend out. When they're wet though, they blend out seamlessly, but as soon as they dry, which they do really, really fast, that's why you don't get any creasing from it, then it gets really hard to blend out and it doesn't look as seamless. So make sure you blend them out quickly. Now that I'm done with the concealers, I'm going to set my face with the powder foundations. I'm going to be using the colors Neutral Tan and Beige. I'm going to be using the color Beige around my eyes to give me that highlighted look and to make sure that my concealer doesn't crease at all. I mean, it's very lightly creasing, which I think any concealer would, even if it says it's like crease proof, because naturally, like anything liquidy does crease. But compared to other concealers, as I mentioned before, it's like not heavily creasing at all. But to make sure it stays flawless all day, I'm going to set it with the powder foundation. I really love these powder foundations. Like, look how flawless it made my eyes look right now. And it really brightened it up compared to this eye too. It just made everything look so seamless throughout my skin. It really ends up giving you this airbrush look when you finish off your foundation routine with this. This also has really, really nice coverage to it. You can use it as a foundation alone, especially on those days where you want just some quick coverage and you want to throw on some powder. It leaves your skin looking really, really nice, smooth, and flawless. Now I'm going to go in with the color Neutral Tan and buff this out all over my face, and I'm going to apply it on top of my contour too, just to give that, again, that flawless finish, that everything looks super blended and looks very natural. Like I mentioned before, I don't like my contour looking too heavy, so by adding this powder foundation on top of my contour, it's still there, but it kind of makes it a little bit more subtle. Because I'm like a million shades lighter during the winter, I'm just gonna buff this down onto my neck so everything looks like it matches properly. As I mentioned before, I'm in this like really weird like skin tone phase right now. Now, as you can see, the Can't Stop Won't Stop line has left my skin looking super flawless and airbrushed. I absolutely love it. I would highly recommend this line. I'm gonna go throw on the rest of my face so you guys can see how well makeup sits on top of this base, and I will be right back. Alright guys, so this is the final look. All of my makeup sat on top of my face really well. I sometimes have this problem where if I use a powder foundation, my makeup will look patchy in certain areas, especially like around my highlight and contour, but that was not the case with this. As I mentioned before, I would highly recommend this entire line. You can see how flawless my base looks, and I especially love the fact that it covered up my dark circles without me having to use a orange color corrector. Like, that is a huge win for me because I always need to use an orange color corrector. Anyways, if you did like this video, please do not forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. You do not want to be missing out on any of my future content. And as always, thank you guys so much for all the love and support, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!